I wanted to close off 2024 with a final video highlighting my top 10 comic book moments of the year. 2024 had a lot of amazing comic book moments, and it was really hard to narrow it down to just 10. But after some thinking and more thinking, I was finally able to do so. And I have 10 choices now. And these 10 picks were the moments that had a huge impact on me while I was reading all the Marvel and DC comics this year. Let's get started. At number 10, we have the X-Men saying goodbye to Krakoa in X-Men 35 to 700. This marked the end of the Krakoa era of X-Men comics. Even if the final stages of the era felt rushed, it was still a very interesting era for the X-Men and it will always be remembered for that. The final few pages with the X-Men saying farewell to Krakoa were handled beautifully, and the entire issue as a whole marked the end of nearly 5 years of stories set in the Krakoa island, and it was pretty good. At number 9, we have the origin story of 6160 Reed Richards, aka Doom, in Ultimates issue 4. The brutal and tragic story behind Reed Richards' transformation into Doom at the hands of the Maker was told in horrifying detail and in also a unique manner, as we got to see how everything went wrong for the Fantastic Four in this reality. And this turned Reed into a pariah obsessed with trying to get his family back without realizing none of this was his fault but the Maker's fault for manipulating the events. At number 8, we have the end of Tony Stark and Emma Frost's marriage. I hated it when it was announced and when it happened, but somehow I grew to actually enjoy it and actually like it. It was never going to last and it didn't, but now that it's over, I'm actually glad it happened. Emma and Tony managed to find common ground and they were fantastic together. I loved seeing them let go of their preconceptions and fall for each other, which made it bittersweet when it finally all had to end. At number 7, we have the birth of Elizabeth Marston Prince, the daughter of Wonder Woman in Wonder Woman issue 14. It is a massive development that fundamentally changes the status quo of Wonder Woman moving forward by making her into a mother. There were a lot of questions about how it was going to happen and how it would be executed when it was announced, but I was glad to see Steve Trevor ending up being the father and Diana making her daughter from clay, which was a great homage, by bonding their souls together. At number 5, we have the brutal debut of Absolute Batman in Absolute Batman issue 1. This moment shows just how different he is from the Batman we are all familiar with, despite following the same morals of not killing people. Watching Bruce cut through Black Mask was a badass moment that legit shocked me while reading, and using his bat symbol as a weird axe was just awesome. It immediately felt like a unique reinterpretation of Batman, and I was excited. And number 5, we have the formation of the Ultimates Network in Ultimates issue 1. The Ultimates of the new Ultimate Universe in 6160 assembled for the very first time, and they immediately made a big statement to the world that they are here to stay and they want to usher in a new world of heroes and immediately start doing so, even though the Makers Council may have something to say about that. At number 4, we have the public debut of Absolute Wonder Woman in Absolute Wonder Woman issue 1. This moment features Diana entering man's world for the first time and revealing herself to the public to save them all from weird hell monsters. In doing so, she becomes the first official superhero of the Absolute DC universe, which is awesome. I kind of love how Absolute Wonder Woman still feels so much like the Diana we know, despite all of the fundamental changes to her origin story. At number 3, we have Magneto making peace with the kind of man he was in Resurrection of Magneto issue 3. Magneto gets the chance to look back at the angry, rageful man he used to be and embraces and makes peace with his past while acknowledging how he has evolved and must continue to evolve to be relevant in the world. Brilliant writing by Al Ewing, and the characterization for Magneto was amazing and I absolutely loved it. At number 2, we have the Arrow family reuniting after more than a decade in Green Arrow issue 12. I had been waiting years for this and I had honestly just given up hope that it would ever happen considering the big mess DC had made out of the Arrow family, but against all odds, it finally happened and I couldn't be happier. I had a big smile on my face while reading every single page of this issue, and thank you, Joshua Williamson, for finally making it happen. At number one, we have the birth of the new Ultimate Spider-Man in Ultimate Spider-Man issue 1. Peter Parker chooses to become Spider-Man after learning about his destiny and with the full support of his wife and inspired by the words of an alive Uncle Ben. Not gonna lie, the final page kind of gave me chills when I read it for the first time. It was such a unique take on the character by making him older, married, and also choose to be Spider Man instead of making it an accident as usual. Ultimate Spider Man is just amazing. And that brings us to the end of the list. 2024 was a great year for comics with the Absolute Universe and the Ultimate Universe breathing fresh air into DC and Marvel, and I had a blast reading so many amazing and cool comics. There were so many more great moments that I really wish I could have added to this list, but I just couldn't because there were so many, and I can't wait to see what incredible moments 2025 has in store for us.